actually sure how a group of military veterans and civilians ended up in Nigeria. Ex-military or not, Nigeria is not exactly the place that you'd visit. Especially the northern part. I remember preparing for the trip and doing some research. Everything I read said do not go to Nigeria. Even the Department of Homeland Security says to reconsider traveling there. We thought we were going there to help build a training center. Little did we realize that this trip would end up changing our lives. Nigeria is a place that has so much potential if it could just get out of its own way. It's a place plagued with corruption, and it is now considered the poverty capital of the world. It's also the third most dangerous country today. Only Afghanistan and Iraq are more dangerous. This may be the richest African nation, but it has the second most malnourished children in the world. It's common to find children attending schools with walls that are ready to fall down. Some schools don't even have roofs. The orphan population is continuing to rise. The number of orphans in Nigeria is more than all the people living in the 5 largest U.S. cities combined. It's mind-blowing that a country so rich in resources can have 85 million people in extreme poverty. Corruption has robbed this nation. That's just the beginning. Remember, this is the third most dangerous country in the world. And it's not just the crime in the streets that make it so dangerous. It's because northern Nigeria is home to one of the deadliest terrorist organizations in the world, Boko Haram.
Boko Haram has kidnapped over 2,000 girls in the last 2 years.
Another possible kidnapping by the group Boko Haram.
2 blasts targeted Muslim worshippers. 10-year-old girl and an elderly woman were used in the attack as human bombs.
Boko Haram has left a trail of death and destruction,
which is killing almost 40,000 people in the process.
And ruthless attacks against Christians in Nigeria.
Defiance of one of the deadliest terror groups in the world.
It's strange how the majority of people have never even heard of Boko Haram, arguably the deadliest terrorists in the world right now. These jihadists attack the innocent almost daily. They have killed tens of thousands of Christians and Muslims. Over 2.3 million Nigerians have been displaced from their homes. Nigeria is also home to the Fulani militants. These nomadic herdsmen have been at war with Christians and farmers for years, killing tens of thousands. They even attack and murder children in their sleep. You can call it a religious war, a holy war, a civil war. It makes no difference when the innocent are the ones paying the ultimate price. This may sound like a God-forsaken place, but it is far from it. I think it's safe to say that Nigeria is now the deadliest place to be a Christian. It's a place where all seems lost, where evil has dominated the scene for decades. Except, there are things happening that most of us will never hear about or see. In the midst of all the violence, God is still in control. The terrorists are not the enemy. The Muslims are not the enemy either. Satan is the enemy. He blinds them. But once their eyes are opened, they are dynamic believers. We know this because we had the opportunity to sit down with some Fulani warriors to hear their stories. Stories of how they once hunted and killed their fellow brothers that had converted to Christianity, and the moments when Jesus has literally appeared to hundreds of them. Yes, the Prince of Peace himself actually stood face to face with them on multiple occasions and forever changed their hearts. They no longer persecute others. Rather, they are now the ones being hunted, and it's because of this that I cannot show you their faces or even tell you their names. Every moment of their life is in danger, and they are constantly on the run. Their homes have been burned, their families attacked, wives kidnapped, and themselves captured, starved, and beaten. They have witnessed the presence of angel armies destroying terrorist groups to help them escape their captors. They have watched their family members be publicly tortured to death. Their stories are horrific, and their wounds are deep. They now know peace and joy on an unexplainable level, even though they have nothing. Their sins have been forgiven, and the burdens they carried lifted. After all the persecution, they have not lost faith. Their love for Jesus is stronger than ever, and they continue to stay and fight the battle of souls in order to save more of their people for Jesus. Their message to us was simple: do not play with the salvation you have. Wherever you are, His presence is with you. The stories we heard in Nigeria are endless, but it's only part of the story. It's also about the military veterans that have fought to protect us from our enemies. The veterans that are all too often forgotten. The veterans that are lost and searching for a purpose once again. Who is looking after them? What about their need to continue serving the world for the greater good? Or what about their need to go into the dark places of the world and lay it all on the line? Is that not what brings them to life? That's the mission of Integritas. We seek to help change the lives of people both near and far by activating the very warriors that were trained to do so. As a band of brothers, we defend the weak and oppressed, protect the fatherless, meet the needs of those affected by war, poverty, and natural disasters, and reach the unreached. We courageously stand for truth and strive to be the men that God has called us to be. Without a doubt, our journey has forever changed us and our perspective on Nigeria. Our work to make Nigeria a better place will continue. Our desire to reach the rest of the unreached Muslim world will continue, and it starts in Nigeria. Whether it's building a new orphanage or school, providing for the weak, or just bringing hope to the hopeless, the gospel will prevail. Boko Haram may be sitting right in the path that stops the spread of Christianity to the rest of the Muslim world, but we know the power of Jesus is unstoppable. The Jesus of the history books is real. The proof is in the hearts of the people He has forever changed. He is not dead. He is very much alive. So you must ask yourself, if Jesus appeared to you today, would your life be radically different? Please visit integritasmen.com for more information on how to get involved or support their mission.